What's good? It's your boy Niche Truckone, aka Niche Nancy, aka Niche Noodles. Hit you in your oodles. So today we're gonna be talking about Epstein's connection to Bitcoin. You feel me? So the past month there's been a lot of speculation about Epstein's connection to BTC and or Bitcoin. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna get a quick summary with ChatGPT first, and then we're gonna go into different articles and links and things of that nature. So Epstein's connection to Bitcoin is what I wrote to ChatGPT. Good question. Epstein's connection to Bitcoin is murky, but there are some documented links, plus a lot of speculation. Here's a breakdown of what is known, what is alleged, and where things remain unclear. What we know or strongly suspect. Funding to MIT's digital currency initiative. So he was an early funder of MIT's digital currency initiative. Epstein reportedly helped fund MIT's digital currency initiative, better known as DCI, or rather known as DCI. The DCI is/was a major group supporting Bitcoin core development. Example, they paid or supported core Bitcoin developers. Emails show MIT's then Media Lab director, Joichi Ito, thanking Epstein for gift funds, which allowed us to move quickly. Some of Epstein's money may have been funneled or laundered through associates. For example, Leon Black, a financier connected to Epstein, is mentioned in documents in connection with MIT donations. Meetings with key crypto figures. There are emails revealing a meeting at Epstein's Manhattan townhouse between Brock Pierce, a major crypto entrepreneur, and former U.S. Treasury Secretary Larry Summers. In that meeting, Pierce allegedly talked about Bitcoin's early potential. Epstein also corresponded with Steve Bannon, pushing for crypto tax clarity. He apparently proposed voluntary tax forms for crypto gains. His view on Bitcoin. Epstein is quoted or referenced as believing that Bitcoin is not really a currency, more of a store of value, as we pretty much know today. So Epstein was right because of his mathematical security. This aligns with some of his funding behavior, putting money into infrastructure and development rather than treating it purely like a speculative crypto investing. CBDC, central bank digital currency concerns. Some analysts, for example, Brownstone Institute, argue Epstein's involvement with MIT's Media Lab and DCI could tie into broader motives around digital money, like CBDCs, not just Bitcoin. The concern is that by funding digital currency research, Epstein could have influenced how digital money evolves. Not necessarily just decentralized crypto, but possibly more regulated or surveillance heavy systems. What isn't proven? No public evidence he held large amounts of Bitcoin, according to reporting. There's no solid proof Epstein personally owned a large stash of Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies. Epstein is an older guy, but usually a lot of older dudes don't like holding cryptocurrency until because it's so unregulated. But but if he funded the initial developments for Bitcoin, I'm pretty sure he held some. No direct role in creating Bitcoin. There's no credible evidence that Epstein had anything to do with writing the Bitcoin white paper, creating Bitcoin, or direct technical development. The connections are more about funding and influence. Some claims are speculative slash conspira- conspiratorial because Epstein's finances were very opaque. Many of the more radical theories, example, Epstein engineered certain Bitcoin developments, are speculative. Some come from conspiracy sources. Why this matters or raises eyebrows. Epstein was known for using his wealth and connections to influence elite circles, academia, finance, etc., eugenics as well. His interest in crypto could have been another level of influence, another lever of influence. Sorry about that. Funding early Bitcoin development, even indirectly, gives him a foot in a space that became very powerful and disruptive. His attempts to influence crypto regulation, tax policy, and digital money suggest he saw crypto not just as a financial play, but possibly as a geopolitical policy play. Epstein was a powerful man, damn. Yes, bottom line. Yes, Epstein had real connections to to the early crypto world, especially via MIT's digital currency initiative. And through relationships with big crypto figures like Brock Pierce, no, we don't have definitive proof that he personally held huge Bitcoin wallets, at least based on publicly available evidence, or that he created Bitcoin. I'm sorry about my stuttering. Um, a lot of the most sensational claims are still speculative, though new emails released by the House Oversight Committee are shining more light on these relationships. If you like, I can dig into the latest leaked documents 2024 to 2025 about Epstein and crypto and see what new evidence has come out. Do you want me to do that? I put yes. Nice. I dug into a newly released documents and media reports. Below is a tight source summary of the most important up-to-date findings about Jeffrey Epstein's connection to Bitcoin and the crypto world. Epstein's funded MIT's digital currency initiative. Emails and donations records show Epstein and Epstein linked funds donated to MIT's DCI, as we already know. Meeting about Bitcoin were held at Epstein's Manhattan townhouse. We already know that. Epstein lobbied or communicated about crypto tax slash regulatory ideas. I want to move more into this. Documents show Epstein was concerned about U.S. tax policy on crypto, proposed ideas around how crypto gains should be treated. No public proof Epstein personally held a massive Bitcoin wallet. Reporting the newly released documents show influence and funding, but no definitive public evidence that Epstein personally owned large, traceable Bitcoin holdings. But Epstein was a smart guy. I'm pretty sure if he did hold them, it would be on a cold wallet, and it would be no way to really trace it back to him. Like the new trove comes from House Oversight Committee document releases and has prompted multiple outlets to re-examine Epstein's ties to finance, academia, and crypto. These releases are the source of the recent wave of reporting. What the documents change versus older understanding. Previously, we knew Epstein donated to MIT. The 2020 MIT review documented 850,000 in gifts. The new 2025 release adds more direct email evidence linking those funds to DCI activities and to in-person crypto discussions. The new emails make the link and specific crypto actors, Brock Pierce, meeting notes, clearer than earlier. More circumstantial reporting. What still isn't established, slash open questions, whether Epstein or his estate held large Bitcoin wallets. I believe he did. That can be on chain linked to him. Public reporting so far emphasizes influence and funding, not ownership evidence. Any illegal crypto activity connected to his abuse slash trafficking network. No proven link in public documents yet. That would require forensic blockchain tracing and legal discovery beyond the released emails. So the most reliable sources used were the Washington Post, Yahoo Finance slash Decrypt, MIT, Euronews, and other recent press aggregators, recent crypto press. Colon display key emails, short extracts. So let's go into the actual articles themselves. So this is an MIT news article. You feel me? This is from MIT website itself. MIT releases results of fact-finding on engagements with Jeffrey Epstein. Law firm completes independent review of faculty, staff, and administration actions. This from January 10th, 2020. So this is before that 2021 bull run. The executive committee of the MIT Corporation today released the findings from a thorough review of MIT's engagement with Jeffrey Epstein. The review conducted by the law firm Goodwin Procter sheds light on the Institute's actions pertaining to 10 Epstein donations totaling $850,000 that MIT received between 2002 and 2017, as well as multiple visits that Epstein made to campus. 2002 and 2000. So that's where it gets crazy. When you think about 2002, Bitcoin didn't come out till what? 2012? Let's look this up. Let me just go to right here. When did Bitcoin come out? Didn't it come out in like 2012? Bitcoin officially came out in 2009. So in October 31st, 2008, the Bitcoin white paper, the peer-to-peer electronic cash system, was released by Satoshi Nakamoto. January 3rd, 2009, Bitcoin launched when Satoshi mined the Genesis block, Block Zero. January 2009, the first version of the Bitcoin software was released and the network went live. So the network went live in January 3rd, 2009. The white paper was created in October 31st, 2008. They're saying that MIT received between 2002 and 2017 this $850,000, as well as multiple visits that Epstein made to campus. So that's where it gets spooky. So Epstein was involved way earlier than Bitcoin even came out. That's where it gets spooky. You know what I'm saying? The report concludes that President L. Raphael Reeves was not aware that the Institute was accepting donations from a convicted sex offender, an accused pedophile, and had no role in approving MIT's acceptance of the donations. But the review finds that three MIT vice presidents learned of Epstein's donations to the MIT Media Lab and his status as a convicted sex offender. I don't even want to say that word. I shouldn't be saying that word on YouTube, right? I'll get flagged. It's okay. In 2013, in the absence of any MIT policy regarding controversial gifts, Epstein's subsequent gifts to the Institute were approved under an informal framework developed by three administrators: R. Gregory Morgan, Jeffrey Newton, and Israel Ruiz. Since MIT had no policy or processes for handling controversial donors in place at that time, the decision to accept Epstein's post conviction donations cannot be judged to be a policy violation. The 61-page report says, but it is clear that the decision was the result of collective and significant errors in judgment that resulted in serious damage to the MIT community. Unbeknownst to any members of MIT senior leadership, the report says Epstein visited MIT 9 times between 2013 and 2017. The fact finding reveals that these visits and all post conviction gifts from Epstein were driven by either former Media Lab director Joy Ito or professor of mechanical engineering Seth Lloyd, and not by the MIT administration or the Office of Resource Development. The report concludes that Lloyd purposefully failed to inform MIT that Epstein, a convicted sex offender, was the source of two donations to support his research in 2012. Lloyd was also found to have received a personal gift of $60,000 from Epstein in 2005 or 2006, which he acknowledged was deposited into a personal bank account and not reported to MIT. In keeping with the call for action From the executive committee today, President Reef has placed Lloyd and tenure professor on paid administrative leave. So, damn, basically early retirement. Damn. Extensive review of facts. Today's public release follows discussions of the findings at a special meeting this morning of the MIT Corporation. The Institute's Board of Trustees, the Goodwin Proctor report, draws upon 73 interviews with 59 individuals, as well as a review of more than 610,000 emails and documents provided by current and former MIT employees, among others. It offers a detailed account of MIT's interactions with Epstein, who died last August while in federal prison. I've been up all day, all night. It's 9:04 p.m. right now as I'm making this video. I was up since 2 a.m. last night. The fact finding has taken 4 months longer than what was initially expected. The executive committee, in a statement accompanying today's release of the Goodwin Proctor report, has detailed in the report the process expanded as new facts were found. The report being made public today makes for uncomfortable reading, especially for all of us who love MIT and are dedicated to its mission. The full report on Epstein's donations visits to MIT was released on a website. So you can go to this website and look at it. Uh I'm not reading all this right now. But that's just his dealings with MIT. Let's see the Manhattan townhouse information. And that was from 2020. This is what I'm saying. These things are resurfacing now, and I never got to look at it because I just didn't care. You know what I mean? But there's a lot of videos going around on TikTok, YouTube about Epstein's connections to Bitcoin. So I just wanted to look into it and make my own video about it. So let's see. This is from Yahoo Finance, or Decrypt on Yahoo Finance. Epstein's email. Epstein emails reference Bitcoin meeting with Brock Pierce at Manhattan Mansion. Cryptocurrency entrepreneur Brock Pierce spoke about Bitcoin with former U.S. Treasury Secretary Larry Summers at Jeffrey Epstein's Manhattan townhouse. According to a series of emails from the disgraced financier's estate, the exchange, which took place after Epstein's conviction as a sex offender in 2008, was going to be referenced in an article from New York Magazine in 2015. But the outlet appears to have never published a story that highlighted several of Epstein's high profile guests. During the meeting, Pierce, who co founded stablecoin issuer Tether, described himself to Summers as the most active investor in Bitcoin. According to a version of the article included in the emails, which were released by U.S. lawmakers on Wednesday, Summers, a former Harvard University president, saw opportunities with Bitcoin, but was concerned about damage to his reputation if he lost his funds. The article states, I could go from being seen as a figure of some probity and some intelligence to being a fatigue of much less intelligence, to being a figure of much less intelligence and much less probity. Summers said, according to the article, in response to an update from Pierce on rapid Bitcoin price swings. I mean, I don't know if you guys subscribe to my old channel. I believed in Bitcoin for a long ass time. It just my problem is I was investing in a lot of meme coins, trying to make quick money instead of just keeping my eye on the prize, which is Bitcoin. And I think Ethereum too. I think Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Binance Coin are the holy trinity of crypto. The interaction in the article, which spans a handful of paragraphs. Some people will say Solana. I don't think Solana. I think Solana is bullshit, and it's been hacked before. So the interaction in the article, which spans a handful of paragraphs, ends with Pierce saying that you're going to have some low quality characters playing early in the space. Pierce's connection to Epstein has been documented before, including a 2011 visit to the Virgin Islands, where Pierce attended. Oh, he went to that. Where Pierce attended a scientific conference hosted by Epstein called Mineshaft. Spokesperson for Pierce told The Hollywood Reporter in 2019 that the few communications that Mr. Pierce had with Epstein related to cryptocurrency, and that they saw each other at industry events where many other prominent people were present. The materials released this week show how Epstein may have played a larger role in Pierce's business efforts than previously known, as someone who could connect him with powerful people in the realm of traditional finance and academia when Bitcoin was relatively nascent asset. Was a relatively nascent asset. Sorry about that. Pierce and Summers did not immediately respond to Decrypt's request for the comment, well, for comment. Who wrote the story? The former child actor who starred in the Disney's Mighty Ducks wasn't the only individual with ties to cryptocurrency that was referenced in the article. On Epstein's schedule, around the time of Pierce's conversation with Summers, was PayPal co-founder Peter Thiel. The article states Thiel's founders fund first bought Bitcoin in 2014 as one of the earliest institutional investors in the space, according to Reuters. The article only specifies that Epstein's interactions with Summers, Pierce, and possibly Thiel took place after the disgraced financier's conviction in 2008, but emails showed that it was being fact-checked by journalist Alex Yablon in March 2015. Among dozens of questions about Epstein's lifestyle, Yablon asked, "Did you meet with Brock Pierce to discuss Bitcoin?" Larry Summers joined this meeting. A separate email shows that Epstein immediately forwarded LeBlanc's questions to author Michael Wolff with the message NFW, which is short for no fucking way. Bitcoin miners lead crypto stock losses amid wilder market dip with Bitcoin falling. 4 minutes later, I'm sorry about that. That's just an ad. Epstein forward Epstein forwarded Yablon's, his name is messing me up, fact-checking efforts to Darren Indyke, who served as his personal lawyer and became co-executor of Epstein's estate around the time of his 2019 death. Another email shows no message was included. When President Donald Trump was a candidate for the White House in 2015, Wolf provided Epstein with advice on how he could benefit from his history with the politician, potentially generating a debt of the email show. Wolf, who has written several books about President Donald Trump, pushed back against the idea that he was helping a convicted pedophile in an interview published by the Daily Beast on Wednesday, describing the dynamic as a way to gain greater access. Wolf did not immediately respond to Decrypt's request for comment. Wow. So my takeaway from this is the thing that got me most was his MIT meetings from 2002 to 2017. The ones in 2002 could have had nothing to do with digital currency, but the way Epstein thinks, right? He was very much a forward thinker. So that's what I want to know about his meetings in 2002. Did he already know about Bitcoin in 2002? If he did and already knew about digital currency and the way the world would move and things like that, he was either way ahead of his time or just know the way the world moves when it comes to new speculative assets, and he wanted to be a part of it. But let me know what you guys think in regards with Epstein and his whole dealings with cryptocurrency and Bitcoin and his influence on Bitcoin. Do you think he could, like they were saying, like there was conspiracy theories that he could be Satoshi Nakamoto, things like that. I don't believe that type of things, but he he was into some crazy things. So Bitcoin is used on the dark web. Bitcoin is used on in the black market. So he was into crazy things. So he pretty much he could have been there, man. He could have been. What if he's Satoshi, man? Nah, I'm just joking. I don't think he's Satoshi, but it's just something to think about. I thought it was just interesting to talk about because I've never looked into these things. You know what I'm saying? I've never looked into these things. I never really cared too much about Epstein's lore before the like popular media publications of him and the Epstein files and things like that. But I'm very much into cryptocurrency because I like making money. So since I'm very much into cryptocurrency, I can see how his involvement with cryptocurrency and Bitcoin can interest people, and it interested me to make this whole video. So, but I want to let me know what you guys think, and let me know what y'all think in the comments. Like, what you think Epstein's involvement besides was what it was displayed with ChatGPT and in these articles? Like, do you think he had even more to do with it? Um, do you think he holds a large bag of Bitcoin or well held because he passed away, but or took himself out? Do you think he held a large bag of Bitcoin and it's somewhere just stuck on a wallet somewhere, or his family has access it or something like that? Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Once again, it's your boy Niche Falcone, aka Niche Nancy, aka Niche Noodles. Hit you in your oodles. And peace.